Welcome back to the Garza Gaming Channel. Today we're going to talk about the 10.3 update in the way of god changes and nerfs. Right now, this video is going to cover every single god change and nerf. Unlike the stream that Smite did yesterday, right, where they only hit on certain key changes, I'm covering every single god change that's coming with 10.3. This is going to be a long and drawn out video, but I'm going to try and make it as fast as possible. I'm cramming 4 hours worth of information into less than 1 hour, right? So hopefully you stay with us to the very end. We'll see how many hard charging Reapers can actually stomach this to the very end, but you have to, man, because there's so many changes that's going to affect so many of the guys that we play, especially in Arena, right? But hey, man, we got a lot to cover, so let's get into this. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so here we go with our changes to the gods for 10.3, right? And the first one on the list is Aphrodite. So Aphrodite's Kiss, this ability now deals 40, 60, 80, 100, and 120 plus 25% of your magic power damage to enemy gods. So her Kiss now is going to do damage, right? Whereas before it just stunned them. Aphrodite now shares 50% of her MP5 and 20% of her physical and magical protections with her soulmate instead of sharing a portion of her mana regeneration. So that's pretty huge, man. So if she's linked to a tank, that's just going to make that tank even tankier. So that's craziness. So lovebirds, they decrease the health per tick from this one from 10, 17, 24, 31, 38 plus 10% of her magical power to now 9, 12, 15, 18, 21 plus, there's no percentage no more of your magic power, is plus 2 per level. So you're going to see a theme going through these guys we talked today where that percentage of your magical power that accumulated to extra healing is going to go away. Now they're going to just have flat numbers plus flat numbers per your level. So your healing increases a little bit as you go through the game, right, and level up. Okay, so this ability now provides a flat 0.25 seconds ability cooldown reduction per tick to herself and allies, including on this ability. So if you put this stack on somebody, it's going to give them cooldown reduction too, which is gigantic, dude. Undying Love. So using this ability now provides a self and ally with a jealousy effect for 5 seconds. Refresh, not stack, so it doesn't stack. And then using this ability, so what is it saying? Okay, so say this that you already have jealousy on a god, right? So by catch you, as soon as you see that your ally has that jealousy on him, you can't cast your ult to double the magnification of that buff, right? It's all it's going to do is just replenish it to however long it lasts. I think it lasts 5 seconds. So if it was at 2 seconds, you cast it again, it goes from 2 seconds back up to 5 seconds, but without any interruption of the buff. So it won't go to 10 seconds, you know what I'm saying? And that's what they're saying with that refresh, not stack. Now, using this ability now provides 5 seconds of jealousy buff to Aphrodite and her soulmate, increasing their damage dealt by 8, 11, 14, 17, and 20%. So the damage still gets that percentage buff. Oh, these are all percentages. Okay, so this buff is going to give you 8%, 11%, 14%, 17%, and 20% more additional damage when you're under the jealousy buff. So that's pretty huge, man. It sounds like Aphrodite is getting a pretty nice buff to her linked ally, right? So hell, stance of attunement. So this one, when in light stance, the passive on this one, hell now applies 8% power reduction to enemies in an aura radius instead of giving increased healing to allies. So that's very interesting. So when you're in dark form, you're actually going to be doing 8% power reduction. So you're nerfing people's physical power and magical power by 8% just by being around them. And this effect scales up as she becomes attuned in the stance. Actually, it said in light stance. So now the light stance passive, it kind of turns dark, right? Because before you used to get a healing buff, now you're just going to be reducing the enemy's power. So that's very interesting. Decay. So projectiles now go through walls. So that's pretty cool. Restoration, decrease the heal from 60, 90, 120, 150, 180, plus 25% of your magical power to 50, 70, 85, 100, and 115, plus 5 per level. So as you see that that percentage on anything that has to deal with healing is gone. This ability now damages and passes through minions, so you can clear minions with this. And the ability now provides a 50, 70, 85, 100, 115 mana heal to self and allies on successful hit. I don't know what the crap a mana heal is. I don't know if you just restore that much mana instantly. That's what I'm thinking it is. I don't know. Okay, Inspire. Decrease self-heal from 50, 80, 110, 140, 170 plus 30% of your magic power. That's what it used to be. And now you're going to get 45, 60, 75, 90, and 105. So it went from 170 to 105 self-heal, which is gigantic, plus 6.5 additional per level. So you're using... You're going from 170 to 105, plus you're losing 30% of your magical power. That in itself is gigantic, dude. It's just probably double what you're getting now. And now you're going to 105 plus 6.5 per level. Wow, that's just craziness, dude. And then decrease the ally heal per tick from 8, 12, 16, 20, and 24 plus 5% of your power to 7, 9, 11, 13, and 15. So it went from 24 to 15 and 1.1 per level. Dude, Hell's healing, you just got kicked in the crotch, son. And this ability affects this ability also affects minions heals by 50%. So you can heal minions by 50%. In Arena, who gives a crap? Unless we're talking the big minion. If you got that big siege minion that's going to the portal, being able to heal him is just going to be pretty big when you're trying to push him through that portal. So that's going to be very interesting to see how we use this mechanic in Arena. And you can heal for 3.5, 4.5, 5.5, 6.5, 7.5, plus 0.55 per level. Very interesting. Very interesting. This ability now provides 20% attack speed to self and allies for its duration. So now Inspire also gives attack speed, which was going to be very nice with hunters. Switch stance decreases cooldown from 2 seconds to 1 second. So your switch stance is now it's not going to take 2 seconds to come off cooldown. It's only going to take 1 second. Yamoja, Mending Waters, decrease the heal from 30, 55, 80, 105, and 130 plus 15% of your magic power to 20, 40, 60, 80, and 100. So we went from 130 to 100. You lost 30, and that's it. There's no percentage of magical power scaling looks. That sucks. And then they increased the shield health from this one from 30, 55, 80, 105, and 130 to 30, 60, 90, 120, and 150. So they increased the shield strength. So that's good. So they buffed her shield. And then they increased the damage from 50, 80, 110, 140, 170 to 65, 95, 125, 155, and 185. This also affects the shield damage. So, that, I mean, it sucks. She's going to be doing a lot less healing, but she's going to have more offensive type, damage. Plus, her shield's going to be stronger. So it's like, I don't know. Sylvanas, his Wisps, decrease the heal from 15, 20, 25, 30, 35 plus 10% of your magic power every 1 second for 5 seconds to 10, 14, 18, 22, and 26 every 1 second for 5 seconds. So the time stays the same, but you don't get that 10% of your magical power scaling with this anymore. So you went from 35 to 26 late game, and you lost the 10% power scaling. Now, minions are healed and damaged from 25% of the amount that you heal or damage for this AoE, right? So that's interesting. So you can actually use this to not only clear minions, but to heal your minions to be more of a pain in the butt in Arena, especially when we're talking that siege minion. This is going to be huge, man. This ability does not proc seed pods on hitting minions, though. Chang'ao. On this one, or Chang'e, how you want to call her, the Moonflower Dance. Decrease the healing from this one from 50, 70, 90, 110, 130 plus 30% of your magical power to 40, 80, 120, 160, and 200. So it sounds like it's getting buffed, right? Because late game you went from 130 to 200, but keep in mind you lost the 30% of your magic power scaling, which is 30, an additional 30 healing per every 100 of your magical power, right? And most of these guys will have over 500, 600 freaking healing magic power, right? So that would have gave them over 300 healing easy with this. So that's kind of sucks, dude. And then they remove the healing reduction debuff of this ability. So that really sucks. So now her Moonflower Dance does not have the healing reduction, the anti-heal. All right, so new debuff applied from damaging abilities. Chungao's deals a 5% increase damage to this enemy, stacking 3 times. So she puts a 5% debuff, almost like Executioner's Axe, right? But for a magic person. So now every time you hit somebody, it's going to give a 5% increased damage for 4 seconds. Instead of reducing their defenses, you're going to give 5% magnified damage on those persons, like some of our physical counterparts, right? So that's kind of interesting. But as you can see, it says she deals 5% more damage to that person, not anybody else. That person's not getting debuffed, with a 5% added damage. It's only going to be her damage that's going to be amplified. So keep that in mind. Okay, Ram, Solar Blessing. Decrease the heal per tick from 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 plus 10% of your magic power to 12, 24, 36, 48, and 60. So it went from 50 to 60. It sounds like it's a buff. It is not, because keep in mind you lost that 10% magical power. So you lost that additional 10 per tick per 100 magical power that you had. So if you had 600 magical power, which is probably normal for Raw to have 600 or more, that's 60 additional. So you really went from 110 per tick to 60. See, that's a big nerf. So they increased the protections from the buff from 8, 11, 14, 17, and 20 to 10, 14, 18, 22, and 26. But they did allow you to get more protection. Like, you're getting 6 more protections late game on this item. So, on this ability, so it's not too bad. And they increased the physical power buff on this one from 8, 11, 14, 17, and 20 to 10, 14, 18, 22, and 26. You're also getting an additional 6 physical power buff on this one as well. So you get more protections, more physical power, and the magical power went from 14, 18, 22, 26, and 30 to 15, 20, 25, 30, and 35. So it went an additional 5 on this one. So you're getting 6 more physical, 5 more magical power with this ability. And they decreased the cooldown of this from 18 seconds to 16 seconds. So they reduced it by 2 seconds, which is huge. 2 seconds in Arena is a lifetime. And they decreased the mana cost from 65, 75, 85, 95, and 105 to 50, 60, 70, 80, and 90. So you're getting a mana decrease of 15 on this per cast, so that's not too bad either. Now, Searing Pain, they decreased the magical power scaling from 115% to 110%. So you're losing 5% on this alt. You know what I'm saying? Not too bad, I guess. It sucks. 5% is a lot, but not as bad as we've seen some of the nerfs from some of these other guys, right? They added a new damage component to that deals true damage equal to 5% of the target's max hit point to enemy guys. That is huge, dude. So 5% of the target's max HP as true damage, not mitigated damage, true damage. Not a defense, mitigated damage, true damage. That's going to be big. So that's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out for Raw's ult. Guan Yu, Conviction, decrease the healing from 50, 75, 100, 125, 150 to 30, 50, 70, 90, and 110. Late game went to 150, 110. That's huge. This ability now applies, though, a 1 second flat cooldown reduction effect to allied gods that are healed. So this cooldown effect does not affect himself. It only affects the god's allies that he heals. Keep that in mind. Okay, his Taiyou Assault increased maximum stacks from 3 to 4. So you're getting 1 more stack on this. Terra, her Monolith, decreased the heal per tick from 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 plus 5% of your magic power to 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. Huge nerf on that. This ability now provides 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 protections while inside of it. So they took away the healing. They added protections to this ability. So, juggling. Earthen Fury. Decrease heal from 100, 150, 200, 250, 300 plus 30% of your magical power to 70, 105, 140, 175, and 210 late game. So late game went from 300 to 210, plus you lost 30% of your magical power scaling, which is gigantic. Terra got a huge nerf, man. And then they removed the heal over time from this ability as well, which is just a kick in the crotch. And they increased the allied damage mitigation from 5% to 10%. So they added more damage mitigation, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Okay, Horus. Result. Resolute. Increase the protections per stack from 1.5 to 2.5, so that's huge. But they decreased the heal per stack from 2 plus 0.75 per level to 1 and zero point 0.6 per level. So again, less higher protections, less healing. Per Protector Surge. So they increase the heal from 70, 115, 160, 205, and 250 plus 10% of your physical power to 40, 70, 100, 130, and 160. So you're going from 150 to 160 plus you're losing 10% physical power on this, which is that's a hell of a nerf on Protector Surge, dude. The healing on that just got obliterated. And then they decrease the cooldown from 16 seconds to 10 seconds. So I guess you can be able to, cast this, a little bit faster. And then decrease the mana on it. Oleron, consecration. So they decrease the heal per tick from 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 plus 5% of your magical power to 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30. So it pretty much stays the same. The only difference on this, you're going to lose that 5% magic additional healing per tick based on 5% of your magic item power. Cupid. Oh man, okay, here we go. Cupid, shared love, right? Decrease the heal per heart from 40, 65, 90, 115, 140 plus 20% of your physical power to 25, 50, 75, 100, and 125. So it's going to be flat heal across the board. You're going from 140 to 125 late game, plus you're losing 20% physical power scaling, which is gigantic, right? But Cupid now gains a passive stack whenever he or his allies pick up his heart. So remember how we used to have to hit minions to build your stacks. Now anytime somebody drinks one of your hearts or eats one of your hearts, you're going to get one of your passive heart stacks. So that's pretty cool. That's definitely pretty cool. Decrease the cooldown from 14 seconds to 13 seconds. This ability lost a lot of healing for the team though. That is a huge decrease in healing, man. But being able to build your stacks, that much faster, I guess that's pretty cool. Baron Samedi, his consigned spirits, right? So this one, to decrease the flat heal from 40, 65, 90, 115, and 140 plus 10% on your magic power to 30, 55, 80, 105, and 130. So you're going from 140 to 130, plus you're losing 10% stacking, depending on how much magic item power you had. So that is a huge hit on his heal. They decrease missing health from 7.5% to 5%. And then this ability now applies a slow immunity for the buff duration instead of just cleansing slows. So that's huge, dude. So before, if you had enough of his stacks on the enemy and you hit him with his item, it would arc out and heal your allies. Plus, it would cleanse them of a slow. Now it's not only going to heal them, it's also going to apply a slow immunity. So it's going to cleanse them of the slow and keep them unable to be slowed again until this duration of this buff goes through, which is very, very huge. Okay, a set. The Dispel Magic, decrease the cooldown on this one by 2 seconds, which is pretty good. Circle of Protection, increase the damage mitigation from 25% to 30%, which is really good. Decrease the healing from 90, 115, 140, 165, 190 plus 25% of her magic power to 75, 110, 145, 180, and 215. Now, it sounds like it's a buff, right? Because you're going for late game from 190 to 215 more healing. But realistically, keep in mind, you're losing that 25% of your magic item power, which is gigantic, dude. That's a gigantic nerf for her healing. And so at the end, it's going to be 120, 120, 259, 350, 450, 570 plus 50% slash 56.25%. It's just a long number. Which is going to come out to 150, 248, 365, 495, and 645. I guess that's what's going to be the healing now. I mean, I don't know, dude. Or is that the damage? Maybe that's the damage that you do now. Either way, dude, that ability is just, I don't know. I don't know, dude. RTO, energy surge, man. The decrease the healing from this one from 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, plus 20% of your magic item power to 40, 45, 40, 55, 70, 85, and 100. You don't get that 20% scaling anymore. And it went from 140 to 100. So energy surge just got super nerfed. Entanglement vines increased the druid power debuff from 5, 7.5, 10, 12.5, and 15% to 9, 10.5, 12, 13.5, and 15%. Okay, so now they just increased the druid power debuff early game. That's all they did. Late game stays the same. Versus Roar, they did the same thing, except for they increased the bear self buff from 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30 protections to 15, 20, 25, 30, and 35 protections. So they just buffed it by 5 across the board. Her life tap decreased the heal per tick from 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30 plus 5% of your magic power to 6, 10, 14, 18, and 22. So late game it went from 30 to 22, but you also lost that 5% of your magical power scaling. So RTO got a very, very big nerf, man. She's not going to be as tanky as she used to be. Now, heavy charge, they increased the bear slow from 22.5, 25, and 27.5 to just 30% across the board. That's going to be huge early game. Shapeshift increased the movement speed per stack from 1, 1, 2, 2, and 3% to 1, 1.52, 2.5, and 3%. So early game, you're going to get more movement speed per stack. Thulu, Insanity Break, increase attack speed slow from 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30% to 20, 22.5, 25, 27.5, and 30%. Again, increase the attack speed slow early game on that. It's going to be huge. The Mire, increase the base damage per shot from 50, 95, 140, 185, and 230 to 60, 105, 150, 195, and 240. So you're getting 10 across the board, it seems, on this one in damage per shot. Transfuse, decrease the self-damage of this ability from 6% to 4% of max health. Remember, when you use that attack when he's in his ult, you actually take damage even though you're healing your people, right? So you're going to be taking 2% less damage on that one. Decrease the ally healing, they also decrease the ally healing from 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12% max to health of their health to 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9%. So it went from 12% max health to 9% max health. So healing got a very big nerf. Note that the reduced healing with Thulu is below 20% health. Okay. So note that reduced healing with Thulu is below 20% health. Okay, whatever. Achilles. Gift of the Gods, increase the protections bonus from level from 1.5 to 2, increase the physical power bonus level from 1.5 to 2. So his passive got increased by 0.5%, or 0.5, right? In Radiant Glory, decrease the healing effect of this from 20, 23, 26, 29, 32 plus 10% of this power to 15, 18, 21, 24, and 27. So it went from 32 to 27. Plus, keep in mind, you lost the 10% power scaling. So that's going to be a big nerf for Achilles. That's probably why they gave him the extra, passive, that 0.5 extra on his passive. AMC, increases hit points from 77 to 82, increases basic attack power per level from 2.5 to 2, from 2.2 to 2.5. The reason being is they took away his passive healing from his hive, so he's no longer going to get that healing tick, healing over time from his hives anymore. Now AMC gains 20, 25, 30, 35, and 40 HP 5 though while his hives are around. So he's not getting he's not going to get an active heal anymore, but he is going to get increased heal over time. So that your heal over time is going to go increase. So I mean, it's better than nothing, I guess. Posh, his hollow ground decreased the maximum health restoration from 7% to 5%. His undead surge decreased the cooldown from 14 seconds to 12 seconds. So his cooldown got reduced by 2 seconds, which is pretty big, dude. Amaterasu, his divine presence. Her divine presence increased benevolence Aurora MS from 5, 9, 13, 17, and 21% to 9, 12, 15, 18, and 21%. So early game, it got increased. Decreased the heal per tick from 15, 25, 35, 45, 55 by 5% of physical power to 10, 18, 26, 34, and 42. So it went from 55 to 42 heals per tick, and you lost 5% of your physical power scaling on that. Anubis got some really crazy buffs, man. So for Anubis, his sorrow, right, decreased the healing increase per stack from 33% to 20%. So his passive, you're gonna get 13 less per stack healing on this one, right? But his plague of locusts, Anubis can now cast this on the move. The only caveat is while you're casting this, you're going to be moving at 50% of your normal movement speed, but at least you're not stuck in place, a sitting duck for CC, right? So you're going to be moving at 50% speed now when you cast this one or his Plague of Locusts. This ability now deals damage 50% faster too per tick. So the ticks are going to take off faster by 50%. They went from 0.25 to 0.5 instead of 0.5, right? So before it used to take every half second, now it's going to take every quarter second. Decreased damage per tick from 35, 50, 65, 80, and 95, and 40% of your magic power to 80, 26, 34, 20, 42, and 50. So it went from 95 to 50 plus 20% of your magic power. But keep in mind, it's ticking twice as fast. So you're going to be doing the damage, faster. You're just going to be doing less damage. So I think it falls into place with each other. I think it's going to stay about the same, more or less. We're going to have to see how that plays out. Kwang decreased the magical health heal from 5% to 3% from his Dragon's King sword. Arachne, her venomous bite. The debuff from this ability now applies 40% healing reduction for the duration. So you're going to be able to put a 40% debuff to healing when you bite somebody, right? Decreased healing per tick from 8, 16, 24, 32, and 40 plus 8% of her physical power to 8, 15, 22, 9, and 36. So you're going to go from 40 to 36 plus you're losing the 8% physical power. So you're only going to get late game 36 healing per tick on this item, minus any boosters that somebody might be doing the roars with, right? But when you bite somebody, they're going to have 40% less healing reduction. When you take into account the reduction of healing that they're putting out with this freaking 10.3, that's pretty huge, man, because you're already getting healing nerf. Now you're getting 40% even more nerf on top of all the nerfs that they did with this freaking update, right? So that's going to hurt, man. Cocoon. Targets successfully stunned by Cocoon also have their active cooldowns increased by 2% flat, anti-CDR. Decrease the cooldown of this ability from 15 seconds to 14 seconds. That's pretty big, man. So when you have those guys like a Fenrir or something that, that when you had them stunned in the Cocoon, they're just buying their time to get out of that stun so they can leap out. Now you're also going to add 2 seconds to any cooldowns they have, which is pretty nasty, dude. Baba Yaga, her creeping cabin decreased the heal per tick on this one from 0.8% of health to 0.6%. Baba's Brew decreased the cooldown from 12 to 10 seconds, which is huge. Decreased the mana cost on this one to 60 across the board, which is huge. Bacchus, his Chug, decreased the healing from 0, 30, 40, 50, 16, 70, plus 15% of your magic power to 0, 22, 29, 36, 43, and 50. So you lost 20 late game, plus you lost the 15% of your magic power scaling. So that's going to be really, really big, man, on that passive. Now, his Belch of the Gods decreased the healing reduction from 15% to 40%. So now your anti-heal is going to be 40%, not 50%. So that's a nasty debuff as well, or nerf, I should say. Bakasura, his takedown, the debuff from this ability now applies 40% anti-heal, just like Arachne. So that for the duration of that, so that's pretty good. And the Eat minion decreased healing from 70, 120, 170, 220, and 270 plus 70% of your physical power to 60, 115, 170, 225, 280. Plus you lose that 70% of your physical power, which is gigantic, dude, gigantic. And decrease the cooldown on this one from 50 seconds to 8 seconds. So you'll be able to cast this a lot quicker. I don't see too many of these guys in Arena. You're probably going to see less of them, to tell you the truth. Basset, her Night Stalker, decreased the life steal of this ability life gain. Decreased life steal and ability life gain from this ability from 5% to plus 0.5 per level against a god to 0.15% per level against a god. Okay. Okay, decreased lifesteal and ability lifesteal gain from 5% plus 5.5 per level against gods to 0.15% per level against minions to 4% plus 0.4% per level against gods and 0.1% per level against minions. So what I'm reading this now is you will also be able to use this ability and gain life steal, not only on gods, but now you can actually suck life from minions as well. I don't know if you could do this before or not. It sounds like you couldn't. I haven't really played this god too much, so I don't really know. But I can tell you that it went from 5% to 4%, and you lost 0.1% on this against god. Yeah, I was reading this at first. It made no sense. And then that's what I'm seeing now, that now it affects minions. So pounce, increase the damage on this one from 80, 135, 190, 245, and 300 to 95, 150, 205, 260, and 315. So they pretty much increase the damage on this on her pounce. Bologna Shield Bass increased the damage from 80, 120, 160, 200, and 240 to 90, 130, 170, 210, and 250. So you're pretty much getting 10 across the board damage on this item. And they increased the slow from it to 20 across the board. It doesn't even scale no more. It's just 20 across the board from beginning to end. So that's huge, man. And then her Scourge decreased the healing from this one from 25, 30, 35, 40, and 45 to 16, 20, 24, 28, and 32. So late game went from 45 to 32 on this one. Camazotz Essence Drinker decreased the heal per drink from 2% max health to 1%. So you cut this by 50%. Actually, by 100%. They just cut it in half. The decreased essence, or 50%, I should say. Decrease Essence Drinker buff from 6% physical lifesteal and increase healing by 3%. Decrease Essence Drinker buff from 6% physical lifesteal and increase healing to 3%. Note that this extra compared to the normal 30%. Yeah, confused the hell out of me. You guys are going to have to read that one and see if it makes sense to you. I don't really play this guy, so I'm like, whatever. Screech, increase the damage from 90, 135, 180, 225, 270, 80 plus 80% of your physical power to 100, 145, 190, 235, 280, and 85 of your physical power scaling. Holy crap, dude, there's a lot of changes, man. And then an increased echo buff from 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 physical power to 15, 20, 25, 30, and 35 physical power. And the decrease the cooldown on this one by 1 second. Vampire Bats decrease the health from 20 plus 100% of your physical power to 20, 40, 60, 80, and 100. That's gigantic, dude. That's a gigantic nerf. Decrease the power. Decrease the buff per stack from 3% physical lifesteal and increase healing by 2%. Now provides anti-heal effect. This Devour decreased the heal per hit from 8, 14, 20, 26, 30, plus 25% of your physical power to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So you're losing that 25% scaling, plus you're going from freaking 32 to 50, which sounds like it's a buff, but it's not. It's a huge nerf. And then decrease the cooldown on this one, though, from 17, 16.5, 16, 17, they increased it to 15 across the board. So now the cooldown is 15 across the board. Cerberus, right? So his Spirit of Death. They increased the healing reduction from 30 to 40%. So that's huge. So he's going to get more anti-heal. Increased healing stolen from 50% to 80%. So Cerberus actually got a nice buff here. His Paralyzing Spin increases stun duration from 1, 1.2, 1.4, 1.6, and 1.8 late game to 1.4, 1.5, 1.6, 1.7, 1.8 late game. So early game, the stuns could be increased a little bit longer, and they increased the cooldown on this one from 14 seconds to 30 seconds, which is always awesome. Okay, so his leap in, right? His number 3 is Soul Explosion. The heal per minion went from 15, 25, 35, 45, and 50 plus 25% of your magical to 12, 19, 26, 33, and 40. So you're going to get 15 less. You're going to get a lot less healing per minion. You're going to get a lot less healing from God because it's going from 140 to 100, and you're losing 25% of your magical scaling. But they also decreased the health of the souls late game from 220 to 150. So you'll be able to, those little ghosts that jump around, you'll be able to kill them a lot faster to get your health a lot faster. So I guess that's cool. Kernos, his Shifter of Seasons, decreased the spring physical lifesteal from 5, 7.5, 10 12.5 and 15 to 4, 5.5, 7, 8.5, and 10%. So you're losing a lot of life steal on this passive. Increased summer heat physical power bonus from 7% to 8%. The autumn's decay debuff duration, and they went from 7 seconds to 10 seconds. And the winter's chill slow got increased by 0.4 seconds. And the winter's chill slow, duration got increased by 4 seconds. And then it went from 7, 9, 11, 13, and 15% slow to 9, 10.5, 12, 13.5, and 15. So earlier game, you're going to get a higher slow early game as compared to before. And it's going to last, a little bit, almost half a second longer. So you see the trend here, right? Healing is going away. They're trying to increase damage and healing anti-heal, which is crazy because it's like a twofer. But anyway, chalk, rain dance, decrease the healing from 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and 10% of your physical to every 0.5 seconds to 8, 13, 18, 23, and 28 every half second. Plus, you're losing 10% power stacking, right? So that sucks. And the increased attack speed reduction from 5, 10, 15, 20, 25% to 15, 17.5, 20, 22, and 25%. So early game, you're going to get increased attack speed reduction. Storm Call increased the damage from 250, 300, 350, 400, and 450 to 300, 350, 400, 450, and 500. So they increased it by 50 across the board on his ult. Chiron, verbal... his herbal medicine, right? So they decreased the healing per consumed stack from 30 plus 5 per level over 5 seconds to 20 and 3.5 per level. They increased the base physical power from 5 to 10 and increased the base magical power from 10 to 15. So you get the added physical power, you get the added magical power when you get this buff on you, right? For this duration, they just beefed that up, but you're getting less healing. Masterful Shot result, decrease the cooldown this one by 1 second. Chronos, accelerate, decrease the section heal from 1.5% max health per second to 1 max per second. Cocolan, his barb spear, decrease the healing reduction from 50% to 40%. Danzo, increase the base. His Fool's Gold increased the base damage from 85 and 130, 175, 220, and 265 to 95, 140, 185, 230, and 275. It looks like they added 10 across the board. This affects multi-hits. Alluring Spears decreased the healing from this one from 30, 50, 70, 90, 110 plus 20% of your power to 20, 40, 60, 80, and 100. And you lose, of course, power scaling. His Trickery increased the field movement speed from 10 to 12.5, 15, 17.5, and 20% to just 20% across the board, and increased the leaf movement speed from, so while you're in his AoE, you're going to get 20 movements across the board. When you're in leave it and turn into a leaf, you're going to increase your speed from 20, 25, 30, 35, and 40% to 30, 32.5, 35, 37.5, and 40%. So early game, you're going to have a faster leaf, right? Erling Shen, her spot weakness decreased lifesteal on this one from 4, 8, 12, 16, and 20% to 3, 6, 9, 12, and 15%. So a big buff, a decrease in healing there. Increase the damage reduction per stack, though, from 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7% to 5, 5.5, 6, 6.5, and 7%. So early game, you're going to get more damage reduction. His 9 turns per lesson, this one decreased the healing from this one from 150, 225, 30, 300, 375, 400 plus 50% of your max health to 100, 150, 200, 250, and 300 plus 12% of your max health. Huge nerf. Increase the damage mitigation from 10, 12.5, 15, 17.5, and 12% to just 25 across the board. You're going to be 25% damage mitigation with this ability. Increase the taunt duration from 1.2 seconds to 1.5 seconds, which is going to be even more of a pain in the butt. Fifnir, Endless Greed, increase the bonus protection cap from 25 to 35, which is good. Coherence, Dragon Coherence, increase the attack speed buff from 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30% to 20, 22.5, 25, 27.5, and 30%. So early game, you're going to get more attack speed. The decrease the self-heal, though, from 50, 70, 90, 110, 130 plus 30% of your magic power to 35, 50, 65, 80, and 95. Gigantic nerf for the self-healing. Fenrir, His healing howl decreased the physical life steal from 35% to 20%. Big nerf. Freya, her Brenzaman's Blessing decreased the life steal on this one from 10% to plus 0.25 per level to 7% plus 2 per level. Gilgamesh increased the basic attack power from 34 to 39. Heroes Advanced decreased the life steal from 10% to 7%. Decreased the bonus life steal from 15% of Gilgamesh's highest protection to 10% of it. And then allies who enter the beacon will gain bonus lifesteal boosted by 15% of Gilgamesh's highest protection. Allies will be granted up to 58.75 lifesteal if Gilgamesh has over 300, or if he has 325 of either type of protection. So that's pretty cool. That's a big boost, I guess. Winds and Samash. Dude, I'm so freaking tired right now. Decrease the cooldown from 110 to 100. There's so many freaking buffs and nerfs in this. This video is going to be like 2 hours. Hades, Devour Soul, decrease the detonate healing from 25, 35, 45, 55, 65 plus 10% of his magical to 20, 35, 50, 65, and 80. Pillar of Agony decreased the cooldown on this one by 0.2 seconds. Hercules, his driving strike, right? Decreased the cooldown on this one by 2 seconds, which is gigantic, and decreased the mana cost on it. His Earthbreaker decreased the cooldown on this one to 1 second across the board, which is just ridiculous, and then decreased the mana cost on that one. But his Mitigate Wounds, they decreased the initial healing on this one from 60, 100, 140, 180, and 220 to 45, 75, 100, 335, and 165. So it went from 220 to 165. That's a big nerf on that heal, and decreased the damage return. So the damage, this one, the more damage that gets done to you when you have this buff, when it triggers, you get a higher heal, right? So now you can get less of a heal. So it went from 30, 40, 50, 60, or 75% of the damage you take in turned into heals, to a big heal, to 20, 28, 36, 44, and 52. So it went from 70 late game to 52% late game of the damage taken and reverted into heals. So that's going to make Hercules a lot less tanky. Kali, her Marked for Death, right? Decrease the heal on kill from 60% to 40%, which is a huge nerf. Decrease the heal on assist from 20% to 15%. Nimble Strike decrease the damage from 70, 120. Increase the damage from 70, 120, 170, 220, and 270 to 85, 135, 185, 235, and 285. So it looks like they added 15 damage on this one across the board. They decreased the healing from this from 20% of the target's missing health to 15%. But of course, they reduced the healing here. Her Lash decreased the physical lifesteal from 10, 15, 20, 35, and 25 and 30% to 8, 11, 12, 17, and 20%. So they reduced it late game by 10%. Her Incense, they increased the stun duration from 1 to 1.2%. You're not going to feel the difference on that one. Decreased the cooldown by 3 seconds. That's gigantic. Her Destruction increased the damage from 25, 30, 35, 40, and 45 plus 5% of physical power every 0.5 seconds to 30, 35, 40, 45, 50 plus 8% of your physical power. Okay, so that's actually a pretty good increase in damage, to tell you the truth. The Mana Core Monstrosity decreased the lifesteal on this one and physical ability lifesteal by 1% each to 0.77%. His Poison Bar decreased the healing reduction from 50 to 40%. Medusa Acid Spray decreased the healing reduction from 50 to 40%. Morgan Le Fay, her Sigil Mastery decreased the cooldown down by 1%. Her Dragonflight decreased the cooldown on that one also early game, so you're going to get it a lot quicker early game. There's Consuming Power that they decreased the missing health from 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10% to 4.5, 5, 5.5, 6, and 6.5%. So a big nerf on that one. Mulan, her Cross Strike decreased the cooldown on that one by 2 seconds across from 16, 15, 14, 13, and 12 seconds to 14, 13.5, 13, 12.5, and 12 seconds. So early game decreased the cooldown on that one dramatically. Her Spear Thrust increased the slow from 20% to 25%, decreased the healing from it from 15, 30, 45, 40, and 75 plus 10% of your physical power to 12, 23, 34, 45, and 56. So it went from 75 late game to 56, plus you're losing a 10% power scaling, which is catastrophic. Okay, Niza, Flaming Spear, decreased the health the heal from this one from 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10 plus 5% of your physical power to 2, 4.5, 7, 9.5, and 12 per stack. keep in mind you're losing that 10 or that 5% of your physical power. Increase AS from 15, 25, 35, 45, and 55% to 25, 32.5, 40, 47.5, and 55. So early game, you increase your AS. I don't know what the crap A is right now. My brain's not working, so I don't even feel like thinking about it. But yeah, whatever the hell AS is. And they increase the critical strike chance from 50% to 20%. Oh my lord, this list keeps on going. Okay, Neith, general, increase the basic her hit points from 609 to 640, so she's gonna be a little bit tankier or have a little bit more beefier, right? She's gonna have more hit points. Spirit Arrow, they increase the root duration from 1.2, 1.4, 1.6, 1.8 in 2 seconds to 1.6, 1.7, 1.8, 1.9 in 2 seconds. So early game, she's going to be able to root longer. Her Unravel, I should say, decrease the healing from 20, 30, 50, 65, 80, and 60 and 50% of your physical power to 15, 30, 45, 60, and 75. They decrease the weave heal from 40, 70, 100, 135, and 60 plus 30% of your physical power scaling to 30, 60, 90, 120, and 150. Backflick increased the slow from 25 to 30. Nemesis, Slice and Dice increased the base damage on this one from 45, 75, 105, 35, and 165 to pretty much they added 5 across the board more damage on Blade and Slice. Retribution decreased the healing on this one from 100% of your damage received to 70%. And then they decreased the cooldown by 2 seconds. Night Her Rend increased the protection shred from 4, 8, 12, 16, and 20 to 8, 12, 16, 20, and 24. So it looks like they increased it early game. Actually, they increased it across the board by 4 on that one. Barrier Formation decreased the cooldown on this one to 13 seconds across the board. So no longer scales down from 15 seconds. It's just 13 seconds across the board. Sentinel of Zeus increased the base damage on this one. Looks like it went from 100, 165, 230, 295, and 360 to 200, 250, 300, 350, and 400. So 40 late game. Odin, Raven Shout, decreased the cooldown on this one from 16, 15, 14, 13, and 12 seconds to 14, 13.5, 13, 12.5, and 12 seconds. So early game, you're going to be able to get his Raven Shout a lot quicker. Pele, Everlasting Flame, increased the power from 5 plus 1 per level to 10 plus 1.5 per level. That is a very big jump in power from this. But they decreased the lifesteal from 40% to 30% and decrease the ability lifesteal from 15% to 10%. So that obviously they're taking way more healing, but they're giving you more damage. Persephone, her Harvest, decrease the heal from 22 to 29, 36, 43, and 50 plus 10% of your magic power to 18, 30, 42, 54, and 66. So that is a nerf. That is a nerf. And they reduce the cooldown by 2 seconds, though, which is a very big buff. Grasp of Death, her ult, right? Increased damage scaling from 75% to 85%, which is gigantic. Red Taskar, his Lively Acorn increased the physical power of this one from 10 to 15. Decreased the health restore from 3% of maximum health to 2% magical health. Evergreen Acorn increased the physical power scaling from 35 to 40. Decreased the health restore from 7% of maximum health to 5% maximum health. His Thick Bark Acorn increased the physical power on this one from 35 to 40. Decreased the health restore from 3% of your max health to 2% of your max health. His Bristol Bush Acorn increased the physical power scaling from 45 to 50. I believe this is his crit Acorn. This is usually the one I use. So they increased the power from 45 to 50. Decreased the lifesteal from 20% to 15%. I thought the Red Acorn was his crit one. I believe it is. So Acorn Blast. Increase the damage per Acorn from 50, 70, 90, 110, 130 plus 40% of the physical power to 70, 95, 120, 145, 170 plus 60% of your power. So you're getting more damage out of this one. Increase the damage reduction, multiple Acorns from 25 to 40%. And they decreased the reduction floor from 25 to 20, decreased the cooldown on this one to 12 across the board. Ravana, or overhead kick, decreased the cooldown on this one from 18, 17, 16, 15, and 14 to 16, 15.5, 15, 14.5, and 14 on this one. So early game, you're going to get it quicker. His 10-hand Shadow Fist decreased the healing on this one from 10, 25, 40, 55, and 70 to 6, 17, 28, 39, and 50. Sandstorm, increase the damage reduction on this one from 10% to 15%, decrease the cooldown by 1 second. Kingslayer, decrease the healing on this one from 35, 45, 55, 65, and 75 plus 25% scaling to 25, 40, 55, 70, and 85. And they increase the movement speed from 25% to 30% movement speed while using Kingslayer. Shiva, his Samsara, they increase the Bliss base HP 5 and MP 5 buff aura from 4 to 8. Increase the destruction base from MP 5 and MP 5 debuff from 2 to 4. His Damaru's tempo decrease the cooldown by 1 second. Shiva Tendiva increase the mana restore from 10% to 15%. Decrease healing from 80, 100, 120, 140, 160 plus 10% of the physical power to 55, 70, 85, 100, 115. This effect amplifies healing and amplifies boosted healing. All right. Solbeck, his Tailwick, increase the damage from 80, 125, 170, 215, and 260 to 90, 135, 180, 225, and 270. So that's looks like a 10 across the board buff on his Tailwhip, and decreased it by 1 second, which is huge. His what is it? Sickling Psych decreased the heal on this one from 30, 40, 50, 60, and 70, and 10% of his magical scaling to 22, 29, 36, 43, and 50. So it looks like late game, this one's only going to heal you for 50 hit points. And the decrease the healing reduction from 50% to 40%. So it's going to get 10% less healing reduction on the enemy. Radiance for Soul, decrease the heal from 25% of missing health over 5 seconds to 18%. So that's 5% per tick. It went from 5% per tick to 3.6% per tick. Sun Wukong, Master's Will, increase the attack speed debuff from 25% to 35%. 72 transformations, decrease the cooldown on this one from 18, 17, 16, 15, 14 to 16, 15.5, 15, 14.5, and 14. Summer Soul Cloud, decrease the heal on this one from 5% per second per 5 seconds to 3.5 seconds. Holy moly, dude. I think we're coming to the end here now, but this was a long one, baby. I think I almost lost my voice. Surtar, his Obsidian Flesh, decreased the heal per tick from 1% to 0.6%. Thanatos, they decreased the health cost from his abilities from 5% to 4%, so that's cool. His ulti went 10% to 8%. So I guess for his ult, you're gonna lose 8% instead of 10%. That's what they're saying. His Harvest of Souls decreased the restore from 20% of target's max health to 15%. Decreased the hit points restoration for minions from 10% to 7%. His Death Scythe on this one decreased the cooldown by 1 second, which is huge. Decreased the healing from 75% to 50%. So you lost 25% healing on that, which is huge. Soul Reap decreased the cooldown on this one by 1 second. And his ult increased the base damage from 90, 125, 160, 195, and 230 to 110, 145, 180, 215, 250. So you're getting, looks like 20% or 20 more damage late game on this if you miss an execute or you use it to initiate when somebody they're not in that threshold, right? You're just going in for that damage and that stun because they increase the stun by 0.5 seconds. So it's going to allow you to do that damage, stun them, and get the heck away from them, and then turn around and do damage on them so you don't get, counter CC'd. Tiamat, Death Begets Life, decrease the large shield from 30 plus 6 per level to 20 plus 4.5 per level, and decrease the small heal of this by 5 from 5 plus 0.5 per level to 4 and plus 0.3 per level. Tsukiyomi, his Kusimagara, whatever, increased the swing damage on this one from 30, 55, 80, 105, and 130 plus 35% physical power to 35, 60, 85, 110, 135, and 40% of your physical power. So that's a pretty good little buff, a little bump up. This happens twice. His Shingitsu Magitsu decreased the health on this one from 2 plus 50% of your power to 4 plus 1 per level. We're almost done, baby. We're almost done. If you hung out this far already, because I'm already tired, I've already bored myself. You know what I'm saying? If you hung out this far, you are a true reaper, and my hat is off to you. I appreciate your support and your love, baby. Because I tell you what, I probably would have fell out a long time ago, but here we go. We're at the home stretch. So let's keep going. Tower has changed stance, decreased the cooldown from 12, 12, 11, 11, and 10 seconds to 10 across the board. His power cleave decreased the healing from this from 20, 45, 70, 95, 120, plus 20% of your physical power to 15, 35, 55, 75, and 95. So obviously less healing on that. Cleave, his OR decreased the cooldown of his exposed weakness from 6 seconds to 14 seconds, or for 60 seconds to 14 seconds, which is huge. Hail of Arrows decreased the cooldown this one by 1 second. And his wielded axes decreased the physical lifesteal of axe from 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30% to 8, 11, 14, 17, and 20%. Vamana. Increase the base attack speed from 0.9 to 1 second. Sleeping Giant increases physical protection conversion from 20% to 25%. Increases attack speed conversion from 10 to 15%. Dude, that's going to make his ult so freaking powerful. And Colossal Fury increased the protections gain from 15, 20, 25, 30, and 35 to 25, 30, 35, 40, and 45. So again, 10 across the board. More protections gained from Colossal Fury. Increase power from 40, 55, 70, 85, 100 to 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100. Decreased physical lifesteal from 30% to 25%. Ay. Okay. Zhongqi. His exorcism increased the healing from 20, 35, 50, 65, 80 plus 20% magical scaling to 15, 40, 65, 90, 115. And his Book of Demons that decreased the cooldown from 15 to 30. So you lose 2 seconds on that is gigantic. Increased the stun duration from 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, 0.9 in 1 second to 1 second across the board, and 2 times for marked targets. So it's going to be 2 seconds for those marked targets. And we made it to the very end. But as you can see, a gigantic number of buffs and debuffs for all the gods in Smite, most of them being so in the way of healing and lifesteal. This was a very, very long video. If you stayed to the end, man, I applaud you. I appreciate your support, because I tell you what, this was painful, but we got through it. We got through it, baby. So as you can see, Arena is going to be a lot tougher to play, man. The chain CC meta is just going to be that much stronger, because we're going to have less healing abilities, less protection, but they're trying to, I guess, bolster some of the protections, but in the end, not having as powerful shields and not having as powerful heals, I think is going to hurt us. To what extent, I don't know. We're going to have to wait until these things go into play and see exactly where we stand on this, right? But anyway, that is our 10.3 update for all the God changes, right? Hey, man, if you've been, lurking for a while and haven't hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button. Don't forget, we're streaming now every Tuesday at 11:30 Eastern Standard Time on our new Twitch channel. And if you're looking for some really cool, non-toxic people to play with, man, our Discord community is freaking awesome, man. It's made up from freaking players that are so cool from all around the world, man. People are playing at various different times. Come check out our Discord. I got an invite to that in the description of any of our videos, and our website, garzagaming.com. Again, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I'm Garza, your OG on the GC. See you next time.